Hi there, I'm the RBIM guy. Thankful that you're listening into this message from me. It's about educating the body. Now, I recommend Interflow. Do you know why I recommend Interflow? Well, one of the benefits of Interflow is that you increase the mobility of your, joints and muscle mass, and you get, positive benefits like more blood flow to the outer muscle, capillaries and all that stuff. So if you're working out, stuff like that. But the thing with educating the body is this. We have the whole world building representational systems as a dominant force, like the sensory input you get, right? So a lot of people get, a really strong, visual, reference. That's how they keep the balance, by the way. But here's the thing. When we get older, and we will get old, well, most of us anyway, if you have a strong representational, visual, auditory, even kinesthetic, and all those other five senses, here's the thing. You'll have trouble with the balance. And have trouble with the balance when you get older, especially in the country I live in. If there is winter, there's ice on the ground, and you go out there and you slip and you break the hip or something like that. That's a bad thing, by the way. Breaking the hip is not recommended, they say. So one of the things you do when you, like I am, when you do modeling is that you try to replicate results. Well, here's the thing, and the secret thing is that I don't, pursue everything out there to replicate, like, break broken hip or stuff like that. So I've been doing Interflow for 5 years, and it's to increase, mobility, sense of movement, blah, blah, blah. And it takes about 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 minutes a day. Let's say it takes 8 minutes. What do you do that take 8 minutes every day? Well, how many commercials do you watch on TV? Or how much time do you spend, reading the newspaper or stuff like that? Well, I don't think about that, people say. Of course they don't think about that because, that's in their daily routine, there's in their habits. And there's the thing about life that if you do a highly trained thing like, representations, all that stuff, that's good. I don't, care about that. But here's the thing though, if you lose your balance, and balance, you have two ways of keeping your balance. One is the visual system, one is the vestibular, inner ear system. It's about becoming aware of your body. That, oh, my body is able to move. Man, my body is able to move. Oh. And when you start doing Interflow, for example, you increase your mobility. You can feel your body can move, And if you're into sports, like golf, for example, it's longer if you are a bit more mobile because your muscle can contract a bit more. And you get stronger also. And here's the thing that I also recommend moving the hand to become aware. This is a lot of awareness, and to be present in the moment, stuff like that, instead of losing your mind and so, wow, that's interesting. Oh, where was I? To keep your attention on the present moment, and that creates, and requires practice. I call that practice imperfect, by the way. I often practice more wrong than I'm actually doing right. My golfing practice is more about doing it wrong than doing it right. Because I'm trying to practice, my skill level to get better in my skill. I've been doing Interflow for 5 years, pretty much daily. My body is, moving and has a mobility and a sense of what we call, let's call it space. And here's the thing about the vestibular. When you grow older and have a better vestibular system, you have better balance. You have better mobility. When you wake up in the morning, your body doesn't, you know, feel like it's been through, you know, whatever it is when we do things. And here's the thing, you will walk better. You will have more, you know, there's a lot of benefits doing Interflow. If you've done it for a few weeks, most people say, well, if I do it every day, it doesn't happen that much. I say, well, try 3-4 weeks. And after about 3 months, you get a, you know, much better kind of sense of what Interflow means. Because here's the thing, when you start putting attention on the body and how it moves, and how this kind of attention, becoming aware of, you know, how magicians do this also, you know, they have this 5, you know, letting the coordination, all this, but you can have a coin going through this, you know, really good with it, you know, sleight of hand, stuff like that. But it's a really good thing to keep training this kind of vestibular system. If you're doing a lot of sports, you practice this all the time. But you know, the good thing about, you know, Interflow is it's easy to do. Doesn't require much. It doesn't need a gym or change your clothing or something like that. You can do it in the morning before breakfast, or you can do it in a commercial or whatever. It's easy. And I recommend it just because, you know, you're educating your own body. You're also educating your mind at the same time. That's the beauty of it. You educate both your body and your mind. Because when your attention is on the vestibular portion of your experience, you're able to access and become aware of what's else going on in you. I'm not saying it's easy. I mean, I've been doing this, whatever you call it, for 20 years. I'm doing modeling. I do modeling because, you know, it was interesting to understand what's going on, that John Green was able to create what we call NLP today. NLP is not modeling, by the way. NLP is just something they made up during the way of doing modeling. And today, most people in NLP train rote techniques and rote patterns and can't do much with it. Modeling was about excellence. If you look at someone doing really, really good things, it was, wow, I would like to do that. You can replicate that and teach people to do that. But it's the thing in training, people doesn't teach excellence in NLP in the trainings, in the workshops anymore. And I think that's sad and tragic, actually. Because I always wanted people, when I was training people in NLP, to be able to do things. Because if you can do things, you can always get good. Back in the day, this was many years ago, so I've developed since then a way of approaching this in a way that, you know, makes it easier to develop your skill, because I understand it better and how to do that. So that's what I've been doing in the last few years, educating your body and mind. And I did that with Hans, and he's been taking off with this the last couple of months. And it looks all good for him. And I recommend Interflow. You know, keep doing that, start doing that. And work with the handle, and if you have a question, yeah, ask them. I'm here, you know. It's not like I'm going away anyway, anytime soon. So keep on asking questions. I like questions.